everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, if you didn't know, and this is Plant Dust Woman. In today's video, we are going to be making a prop box. I'm really excited. I've never done this before. And disclaimer, I am not an expert, so I'm taking you guys along with me. We're gonna figure it out together. But yes, a prop box, if you do not know, is a propagation box. You can put whatever medium inside, moss, perlite, whatever. And you can put cuttings or like wet sticks, which is just the stem with nodes inside of them, and it keeps it very humid because it's inside of a box. So I've heard lots of different types of ways to do it, different ideas here and there. What I'm gonna be using is just this little cheap box. I got this at Target, I believe, or Walmart. It does have a lid. The lid is not incredibly tight, like it closes, but there's definitely some looseness to it, which I actually think is good because hopefully it won't mold. I know some people keep things completely shut. Some people put holes in it. You know, there's lots of different ways. I'm gonna keep it shut considering this lid is not the absolute tightest. I think it'll work just fine. So that's what I'm gonna be using. Also, the moss that I have right here is just Sphagnum moss. That's the medium that I'm gonna be using today. This is the Super Moss brand. I got this from Amazon. I will link it down below for you. They have the same one at a local nursery here as well. I think it's a pretty common brand. I just started learning how to propagate in moss. So again, like I said, I'm not an expert, but recently what promoted me, or what gave me the idea to do this, prompted me, sorry. What prompted me to do this was I actually knocked off a piece of Hoya Chelsea, which is up on my wall. I knocked off a piece and I put it in water for weeks trying to get it to propagate so I didn't lose that big piece, and nothing happened. So 3 weeks later, no roots. It didn't die off, but I wasn't getting any roots, and I knew that I had to try some other way to propagate it. So what I did was I put some of that Sphagnum moss in a little bowl, got it damp, put the Hoya inside of it, and I actually closed it in a Ziploc bag just to create some humidity. And I just checked it today. It's been, I want to say, a week and maybe 3 days, and there are baby roots. So I was like, wow, okay, obviously this works, and definitely for tougher things to propagate, I think it really helps to have the moss and the humidity to keep it all in a closed container to help create the roots. So yeah, that's what prompted me to do it. It's what gave me the idea, as well as I've seen so many people on here do prop boxes. I love those videos. I think it's so cool to see the updates kind of throughout. So today, we're gonna walk around the room. I don't know exactly what I'm putting in here yet. Again, I'm gonna take you through the process of me kind of brainstorming and figuring this out along the way. But yeah, without further ado, let's go figure out what plants we're gonna put in here. Let's pot them in here, and then I'm gonna give you guys an update maybe in a couple weeks, and we'll see how it does. Let's go. Okay, so obviously we have lots to choose from, but it is a small box, so I gotta do leaves that are definitely gonna fit in this. What I'm thinking right off the bat is definitely some Cebu blue. Definitely want to put some of that in there. And then, I might put some Hoya Chelsea in there just because I know it did well in the moss before. What else do I have? I could do heart leaf. Let's look at Hoya over here. Let's see. Maybe I'll do some Crimson Queen. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Some Cebu blue. I have some Australis propagating up here. It does really well in water, so I'm trying to do things that I've had issues with. Oh, I know. Sorry if you see my lights in the mirror, thinking out loud here. I'm gonna use this. So this is Syngonium macrophylla, and as you can see, it's been in water for a while, no roots. So let's definitely use this one. You are a guess, because maybe then it will propagate in moss. Sorry, I just hit my camera there. What else? I could take some more Hoya Australis. What else? I feel like that's kind of it. Just some Hoya, some Cebu. Let's look over here. Also, you guys, here is a Billiatier. Oh my gosh, it is a long story. It is probably not staying with me / surviving. So we'll talk about that on another day. Don't want to cut this. Maybe I could take some Hope. That'd be good. What's up? If you see me, maybe some Hope would be good. Ooh, Micans. Definitely let's do Micans. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's start with that. let's get it all propped up and let's see how it does. Okay, so we're back. I've got some cuttings right here. I need to go through and actually cut in between because I just took big cuttings off. So I'm gonna show you guys what we ended up doing. So first up, I've got this syngonium macrophylla. It's got some browning on this one, but the other leaves are doing really well. Is that pest? No, it's okay. Okay, I thought there was pest on it. As you can see, it is in water. So I'm gonna pull it out. It has been in water for weeks and we've got no roots going on. There's definitely nodes here and here and here, but no roots. So I'm gonna cut it up a bit. Definitely gonna cut off the bottom that is not doing well. So since there is nodes up here, I'm gonna cut right here for these two leaves, and then I'm gonna cut right here for this one. There is an extra node down here, so I think I'm gonna do kind of a wet stick situation just to see. If nothing happens, nothing happens, but like we might as well, right? So I'm gonna cut right there for the little wet stick. I'm gonna have a hard time remembering these little sticks and what they are, so we won't know until something grows out of it. And then we'll be reminded. So just like that, if you can see, it's probably not wanting to focus, but so just a little stick with nodes. So that's gonna be one. And then for the rest, I'm just gonna cut off the top two with a node carefully. Okay, like this. So these two leaves are attached with nodes. So that's gonna be one. These are kind of big to go in the box, but I think I can make it work, and I need to because they're not working in water. So it really looks like there's some kind of pest on here, but there's not. There's just some dark spots on the back of the leaf, but there's nothing there. So I don't know, it might be from being up in that window because it was really cold there. Okay, so that's two. And then this third one has two nodes by itself. I am gonna trim off some of the stem. That way there's not too much extra stem there. Okay, so that's the third. And then let's see. Next, let's do some cebu blue. So I cut off this vine. The reason I cut this vine off, here's the top. So it had leaf, 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 and then it had 3 different nodes with no leaves and then 3 more leaves. So it was kind of barren, and I figured I could do some wet stick type with that. So I'm gonna cut these leaves just really close to the node here. So node, I'm gonna cut right here, and then we've got node, I'm gonna cut right here. So just right little pieces of node or stem on either side of the node, like this. So one leaf, oop, let me set that down. Okay, so one leaf, one node with just a little bit of stem on either side. That's what I'm gonna do on all of these. Let me speed it up for you. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cebu leaves with node. So just one leaf, one node. And then I've got 3 little wet sticks. I don't know if that's even the correct term, but so just little stick with node. That's it. So we have 3 of those that are cebu. Let me find the other one so I don't lose it. And we've got 1 syngonium little wet stick. I figure I will just throw those in the bottom. Again, I don't know if anything's gonna come from it, but we might as well see. I have 2 more cebu here, but they're really big leaves, so I'm gonna save those for water propagation. Okay, next I'm just gonna do the same thing with this long strand of micin. So we're gonna cut right next to every leaf. These all have a leaf, so there's gonna be no wet sticks. Okay, micins are all done. So again, 1 leaf micins with little nodes. And we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 micins. I don't know if all of these are gonna fit in there. We're just finding out, but oh my gosh, also like, why are these so beautiful? Oh my God, look at that leaf. I can't. Oh, is that a pest? No. Anytime there's something on a leaf, I'm like, is that a pest? These are just so beautiful. The most beautiful leaves. Oh, love it. Okay. One just fell. I'm gonna trim this one down. That's a little bit too much stem for me. I always hear a lot of people say leave enough stem just in case, so I might be trimming them too small, but I've always had well in water propagation with just a little bit on either side. Okay, next, this is just a Hoya cumingiana. It's just a little cutting. I was gonna cut it up. I'm not sure if I wanna just stick this in the moss Or if I want to do one cut here and then have two different ones. Let me think. I think what I'm gonna do is pop off these bottom two leaves. That way there is a node here, and then just stick that straight in the moss. Also, the reason you wanna do that, if you don't know, if I just put this bottom in there, this is just a stem down here, so it's just gonna rot off. There's no node. The nodes are where the leaves come out, so I'm just gonna pop these off. And now where those leaves were is where the roots are gonna come from. So yeah, I'm gonna pop that just straight in the pot. One of those. What's next? Okay, next I took this top cutting of a Begonia Medora, and I think what I'm gonna do here, I'm trying to think how I want to cut these. There's so many ways you can do it, you know, if you want to keep it kind of bigger or if you want to do it smaller. I think I'm gonna pop off this bottom leaf here. Boop. I know that's painful for some of you guys. And then I'm just gonna set this top with that node into the moss. So there's one of those. Okay, next I took this small Hoya Chelsea cutting here, and I'm trying to see. This, I didn't take this cutting. This was like broken again. I had a lot of things break off. So basically there's not necessarily a node on this. It's just two leaves coming out of the bottom. I'm just gonna push this whole thing into the moss and see if I can get some roots coming out of these little dots here, which are nodes where those leaves are coming out. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna set this in the moss, just these two leaves how they are, and hopefully something happens. If it molds or dies off, well, these were gonna be trash anyway, so we might as well. Okay, what's next? Okay, next, I took this long cutting of Hoya Crimson Queen, and I'm gonna cut this up into smaller little pieces here. So let's see. And Hoyas are a little different, obviously. Like this stem has little nodes kind of throughout. So I could just lay this whole thing flat on the moss and it would root itself. But what I'm gonna do is cut the sections and separate them just to get a little bit more space in the box. Okay, so for instance, this one has two leaves here and it has multiple nodes, 1 and 2 and 3 right there. So I'm just gonna push this in the moss. So that's gonna be one. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. I'm leaving these a little bit longer, if you can see. Sorry, that was loud. I'm leaving these a little bit longer because there's nodes along the stem just to give it more opportunity to root. Again, Hoya are a little different than other plants. And then one more third cutting of that. I do have this stem left over that has some roots on it. You guys think I should throw it in there just for kicks? Why not? We'll try it. Why not? It doesn't take up much space and it can go at the bottom, so if it dies off, it dies off. Okay, last two, I have this top cutting of a peperomia hope. I've never propagated peperomia hope, so I have no idea how this is gonna go, but I can definitely see here on the back end, right in there, I'm sure you can't see, but you can see little nodes on the back. So what I'm gonna do is cut just small pieces similar to how I did the Hoya. So it has a little stem, little node, and then little leaves, and I'm gonna pop that into the moss, just like that. So that's one, and then I'm gonna do the same thing right here. I'm gonna cut right here. Also, you guys should be sanitizing your cutting utensils in between plants when you're switching. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't have any rubbing alcohol right now, so it's fine. It will be fine. All of my plants are in the same tiny room, so, you know. I'm gonna cut off a little bit more of that stem just because there was a lot in there. Okay, so then there's this little, it looks like a little 4-leaf clover. It's so cute. I'm gonna put that in the moss. Again, I've never propagated hope, so I don't know how this will go. This one doesn't look like it has much of a node. There's a tiny little thing on the back. So I'm just gonna throw it in the moss, cut that down. I'm just gonna throw that in the moss and see what happens. This is a lot in a little box, so hopefully there's enough room. I do have some scindapsus here. I don't know if all of this is gonna fit. I'm just gonna put a little bit of everything, and then whatever's left, I'll put in moss somewhere else. But same thing, scindapsus is really similar to a pothos. So each leaf just needs a node. This one was a little weird because it was on a curve, so we're gonna cut that off. Okay, so we've got one leaf, one node, gonna go in the moss. And then, let's see. Okay. Well, let me cut that too. Okay, so one leaf here, one node, and then this one has a node right there, if you can see it. So 3 leaves with one node apiece. There is a node left on the stick, so I'm gonna trim it down a little bit and just toss it in because why not? Just see what happens. I'm gonna remember that the little V one is a scindapsus. So we've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little wet sticks, and the rest are leaves. Okay, let's get to actually putting them in the box. Okay guys, we are down on my floor. It's all dirty because I've been cutting things. I apologize. Here's the box. So we're gonna open this up. Here is all the little wet sticks right here. Here is all of my cuttings. So many, we're gonna have to pick and choose. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just take some of this moss here. It's in a brick, so you just have to break some of it off. And we're just gonna fill the bottom of this box here and add some water to it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with that much. I might add more in a minute. And then I'm just gonna add some water and let this get a little bit wet. You don't want it soaking wet, but you definitely want it to be damp and you want it to absorb that water. So I'm gonna put a bunch in here and then I'll dump out whatever's left. I just wanna give this some time to soak up some of that water. Okay, now that I have made a mess of things, this has had time to soak up some of that water. So what I'm gonna do first is put the wet sticks kind of down in it. I don't know if they're supposed to sit on top or be underneath it, so if I'm doing this wrong, you guys let me know. I'm gonna put it kind of in the moss and just see what happens. If anything comes out of it. Yeah, I'm gonna put the 3 cebu on this side, maybe. That way I can remember. Yeah, okay. So those are in there. We'll see what happens. Let's move on to these cuttings. So I definitely want to put the micans in here. So I'm basically just going to make sure that the node is covered in moss, but the leaves are on top like that. Okay, you guys, here is the prop box. So we've got Philodendron micans over here. We've got some Hoya Crimson Queen, Begonia Medora right here, some Peperomia Hope through the middle, some Hoya Chelsea right here. We have a little Hoya Cumingiana cutting there, Cebu Blue right through here, some Scindapsus Argyrius here, and the syngonium macrophylla there. And then underneath it all, we just have some wet sticks thrown throughout just to see what happens. I don't know. So here is the box. All right, you guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Let me know down below what you thought, if you liked it, who you think is gonna root the best out of this. If you think something's not gonna survive, let me know. I'm curious your thoughts on the prop box situation. I hope that you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe for the next videos. I'm gonna give you guys an update in a couple weeks and see how this is doing. I'm gonna give you the truth. If it's all rotted, if it's all moldy, I'll let you know. If they're all thriving, I will let you know. But that's it, you guys. I will see you guys next time. Bye.